How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Untold Ireland. Now, today with us, we have the wonderful Eddie Moore. This interview was actually taken from our latest video and our newest style of video, Untold Expose. If you'd like the full context behind everything Eddie is saying, make sure you check out our Untold Expose. It's a different style of video, it's heavily edited. It's in association with the National Inshore Fishermen's Association. I won't keep you for long, guys. Obviously, of course, you're here to watch the Eddie Moore interview, so that's what we're going to get going. Obviously, you know, it's a bit different today. You don't have a video of me chatting in Rogers. You've got lovely Dingle scenery in the background now, and just me chatting over it. But I won't keep you much longer, guys. Enjoy. How are you doing today, Eddie? Would you just like to say your name and where you're from, just for the camera?
How you doing, lads? Eddie Moore is my name. I'm originally Kerry born and reared, and I'm in Dingle with the last, I suppose, 45 years.
And how did you get into fishing?
I suppose growing up in Dingle, it was what my father done, what his father done before him, so like most of the lads that was in the same class as me going to school, they couldn't wait to get out of school, couldn't wait to get down the pier. The piers that time were a hive of activity.
And what can you tell us about the inshore fishery forums and the foundation of NIFA?
Well, given the fact that the inshore industry, it practically had zero representation other than the few small members that were inside, and we'll say a few members would have been through the bigger POs, but as for representation, the inshore lads fishing there, they were in dire need of representation, and I think it was early 2014, I think the minister of the day at that time was Simon Coveney. They came about and they created the regional inshore fishery forums, and I think they've done 6 of those. You have the east coast, the southeast, the southwest, the west, northwest, and the north. So they put members. There's representation on those forums from fishing. The volume of the members are on there from fishing. You have marine tourism, you have angling, you have aquaculture, you have the environment. You know, there's reps from every sector, we'll say. There's representation from everybody on it, and basically what they done then was they took the chair and the vice chair from each one of the RIFFs, and they created what they called them was the National Inshore Fishery Forum. And that forum then was to meet a few times a year and meet directly with the department and with BI. Well, I should have said there too that BIM done the secretarial work for the forums, and also for the National Inshore Forum through Denise Maloney. But basically the forums then they'd meet with the minister, and whatever would come from the regional forums through the national forum, that would actually go before the minister. But we found that lobbying the minister, or lobbying the department, or lobbying the government of the day, we couldn't actually really lobby them for financial assistance or stuff like that for fishermen. So a few members of the National Inshore Fishery Forum, a lot of years back there, decided that we create NEIFA, which is the National Inshore Fishermen's Association. Now there has been a bit of confusion down through the years, like between the two, because they sound very similar. You have NIFF and you have NEIFA, but they basically both have the same goal. But NEIFA now at the moment is a fierce growing organisation, because we have we're upwards and representing I suppose 250, maybe up to 300 boats, which is fishing families, which is fishing businesses. I mean, it's not just a boat, it's you have the boat, you have the owner of the boat, behind any boat owner you have a wife, you have a fishing family. I mean, but the potential is there, and the need for representation is there, because basically the small lads, basically all they want is a fair shake of everything. But down through the years there, when I started fishing here, there were lads queuing up there on the piers to go into boats to go fishing. Now you'd be lucky if there's 2 or 3 young lads around there that are actually willing to go out. It's you know, and I suppose my greatest fear there is the fact that I don't know, the last of a generation, you know, the knowledge.
Yeah.
The knowledge, you're going to lose the knowledge transfer. You're going to lose when the older guys are gone, and there's no younger guys coming after them. You're going to lose an entire industry. That'd be one of my fears.
Do you think there's any particular reason that the young crowd wouldn't be as interested in the whole fishing?
Well, I mean, why would they? I mean, when go back 20 odd years there, I mean, there was a salmon fishery. High percentage of the inshore fleet fished that. There was a gillnet fishery for the winter. Inshore fleet fished that.
Yeah.
There was salmon. Salmon fishing. There was bass fishery. There was a sport dog fishery. There was an eel fishery. There was umpteen fisheries, but we lost fishery after fishery after fishery after fishery. I mean, the mackerel fishery, the herring fishery, everything is taken away from the inshore boats. I mean, they have 400 tons of a line cut mackerel fishery. It's not enough. They need more. But basically, why would a young lad have anything to do with a fishery then? I mean, when there's no security, there's no job security. The entire inshore fleet is funneled into one fishery now, and that's the brown crab fishery.
And how do you think they could go about changing it? That there would be the kind of the safety nets in place that young people could say, hey, maybe being a fisherman might be the job, like, I could try get into that. Or
I think the best way of correcting anything is listening to the people that are involved in it. And I think through NIFA there we've been lobbying politicians, governments, ministers, anybody we can. Basically, what we're trying to do is create what I suppose public awareness is the best way of putting it. The fact that we have an industry and we're becoming indigenous, I suppose is the word you'll be looking for, but without the young people and without creating some form of job security, take any young lad now that's actually fishing. We're here today and tis not a great day here. Any young lad that's walking around there, okay, is making no money for the day. He's probably spent this whole week with bad weather, this whole winter, I suppose, from January with bad weather. He's not entitled to anything. Like, there's no social welfare available to him. There's nothing put in place. There's no structures in place to actually protect these young lads. So they have to go away. They have to go elsewhere to get employment, and they'd be foolish to come back.
Yeah. And how did you become one of the directors of NIFA?
Basically, I think it was at five or six of us that were actually firstly involved in the National Inshore Fisheries Forum. Decided that we'd create NEIFA, the National Inshore Fishermen's Association, and it just worked away from there. The first man there, Alex Crowley, who's another inshore fisherman there from Carsabeen, just on the other side of Dingle there. He's actually, it was Alex and his wife Bernice, I have to say about the wife, because I said without Bernie putting up with Alex, he wouldn't have had the time. Alex put a world of time into creating NIFA. He spent the first 3 years there. Jesus, I don't know how he kept going, because we're in a young family and actually doing the job that's been done. Even to this day, the directors in NIFA, we're working kind of on a shoestring budget. Like 90% of what's done is done out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
As long as I'm in NIFA, I've never taken €5 for anything other than, I think one day we got a bowl of soup down in Cork when we met the RE company. So it's not too bad. We got something out of it, but it's not being done for money. Like we just need representation for fishermen and to create some kind of a job security.
Yeah,
that's the goal here. And I suppose to create public awareness of the fact that we have an industry, we have an inshore industry. Marketing is key here. If you can actually educate people as to where their food actually comes from, and that the product we land is lobster, crab, crayfish, scallop, fish, whitefish, all this stuff, and it's a very affordable food. Like the perception out there that it's a niche market and it's unaffordable, that's pie in the sky.
You mentioned there now some of the challenges you're currently facing, but what can you tell us about some of the challenges that you've overcome so far in the past?
I suppose the biggest challenge that NIFA is running into is, I suppose, trying to unite and bring together an inshore industry, I suppose, that has been for years without representation. I suppose guys have it in their head that they'll do fine on their own. But any guy that has joined NIFA in the last number of years now will tell you that I mean, for a small boat to join NIFA it's €50. For a 10-metre boat it's €150. And I think it kind of scales up from there. So I mean, the representation it's very small, as in the fees are very small for what we get back out of it. But by getting guys on board, the more numbers you have on board, I mean, there's power in numbers.
Yeah.
We do a thing there through NIFA where we have a DCI card. Members can get a DCI card there through the DCI company in Galway. I think this week it's 7 cents a litre cheaper for diesel, for the cars and stuff like that. But those kind of savings, 6 cent, 10 cent, you don't belong getting back your 50 or €150.
Yeah.
We're after becoming a co-op now. Marketing is another thing that we're trying to get up and running. We have deals done there with fishing organisations or fishing chandleries and stuff like that, where lads get we'll say oils for engines, lubricating oil, hydraulic oil and all that stuff. There's savings to be had in that, so the actual money is coming back to you that you're sending out, or they're back to you in no time. Like, so the value for money in inshore boats is key, because it's got to the stage now where everything is, it's a shoestring budget, it's tight. So you have to justify membership. So to the membership you have to justify their, the value for money. But I think we have a secretary there in NIFA, Avril Egan. I mean, she works 24/7. She's only paid for a few hours of the day, but she's on the phone there to lads. A lot of the stuff is, we'd say it's going paperless now. It's all going through computers. But I mean, you're dealing with, I suppose, a lot of fishermen they're not so good in computers. And everything is trying to go paperless. They don't want to get hard copies of anything. I mean, even the latest schemes, there, grants and stuff like that. Avril through NIFA there is doing the stuff for the fishermen. She's actually doesn't have to do it, but she does it. She goes away and she prints off all these hard copies and sends them out to guys. And I mean, the likes of that is invaluable. And I suppose I've heard a guy that asked this saying that was the best £150 he ever spent.
Could I ask there, you mentioned marketing for NIFA. Have you been using any platforms of social media, Facebook, Instagram?
Again, no, I'm not fantastic on that side of things, but I mean, I'd say Avril in another life worked for the CIA because she's deadly around. She's deadly around. We have social media page, our Facebook pages, and we have social media presence and stuff like that. All right, yeah, but we have a members only page, I suppose, if that's the word you use, where you can discuss stuff among members, and then there's a page that's open to, I suppose, to the public page.
Yeah.
So
would you know the name for the public page? Just
it's just National Inshore Fishermen's Association. Just if you go through NIFA there, and the RIFFs there, the Inshore forums .ie, I think. So either or will get you to either of them, but the National Inshore Fishermen's Association there gets you onto the Facebook page.
Yeah. When a small boat or a crew working on a small boat join NIFA, obviously they get access to membership in the group, and they have people to help them lobby for stuff in government and things like that. What would be the other benefits of being an owner of a small boat, being an inshore fisherman and joining NIFA?
Well, I suppose the best thing to say there would be there's strength in numbers. I mean, a problem shared is a problem cured, I suppose. That's the best way of looking at that. For years we didn't have anywhere to join. We didn't have anywhere to lobby. Now we're lobbying as hard as we can. We lobbied the new minister for state there for fisheries. Timmy Dooley is a Clareman. NEIFA, along with all the other producer organisations. NEIFA is a producer organisation, along with all the other ones. Met with Timmy Dooley there last week, and we lobbied on behalf of our members and inshore fishermen in general. We lobbied trying to bring awareness to what's needed for inshore. So without NEIFA, I mean, you've a single sole trader that's trying to, I don't know, I suppose fight an uphill battle on his own, I suppose is what I'm trying to say there. Like, so I mean, you can pick up the phone there of an evening. The secretary's on the other end of it. So lads have told me there that they'd have something that they're not sure of. They don't know how to go about it.
And would that be them when they get onto Avril?
They pick up the phone there, and Avril's at the other end of the phone. Yeah. There's directors. They're countrywide from Donegal, Mayo, Galway, Kerry. They're scattered the entire way around the coast, from the east coast to the north coast. There's a director in every area. They do it a few more, I suppose, but there's a lot of time and effort put into it. Directors change all the time, so I suppose that's it in general.
And what can you tell us about the brown crab working group as well?
Well, both the National Inshore Fisheries Forum and NIFA, we've lobbied hard there for the last while that something is seriously needed, because I mean the entire industry, I know there's 1,500 plus boats that's actually working in the industry at the moment, but the entire industry, other than a pot fishery, a brown crab fishery, and a lobster fishery, there's nothing else left. I mean, last year we lost the pollock fishery, which was, in my book, was nearly the death nail for the industry, because there were boats in this town and other towns that specifically targeted pollock only, nothing else, and they couldn't actually turn around and go into the pot fishery, so they were literally tied up with zero financial assistance. Just basically told, you can't go to fish anymore, you can't go to work. You're entitled to nothing. I don't know what other sector would with that happening, but it happened in the inshore fishery anyway. And basically the
Just for people who don't know as well, why do fisheries actually get closed down? Like say the pollock fishery now, they're not.
well, the pollock
really
fishery, it's attacked like a total global catch fishery. So it's under attack. Then it goes through ISIS, which is the European. They monitor quotas and they monitor fish stocks and everything else. And I suppose through the advice of the Marine Institute, the pollock fishery was closed. I personally believe myself that it should never have been closed, but I'm not an expert. I'm not a. Basically, the with the loss of the pollock fishery, we felt that with everybody funneled into the one fishery, that the whole inshore industry was only going one way, and that was the wrong way. So we can see from the influx into the fishery and the landings, they were only heading one direction as well, that we felt that the management is seriously needed in the inshore fishery. So we lobbied the then minister, which was Minister McConlogue, back in July of 22, I think, and he was going to put together a brown crab working group, which actually came together there, and the group was created there in September of 24, and we met for 3 days in September of 24. There was representation on the group from, I believe, from all sectors. NEIFA were present, NIFF was present, and other POs were present, and producer organisations, and I think nearly everybody was present. The Marine Institute were also there. So we came up with recommendations, and those recommendations are actually gone into the now minister for his approval. I think what's gone in from the group isn't actually strong enough, in my opinion. There needs to be more done, because I suppose the industry doesn't have time. That'd be the problem I'd say there.
What can you tell us about what it was like growing up in Dingle, and would fishing have always played a pivotal role in your life, or?
Yeah, well, I suppose I'm suppose similar to any man my own age group here in Dingle. When you come out of school, you went fishing.
Yeah.
I suppose the lads that went to school with me, there was two things. There was either farming or fishing. If you weren't gone fishing, you were working in fish factories back the road, or you were away in the fishing boats. You literally couldn't wait to get fishing. What has changed? I suppose the boats have changed. The boats have got have a lot more comfortable. For starters, technology is advanced. But the one thing we've seemed to have left behind is the actual cost of the fish. I mean, you go back in, I suppose, the early 80s there, we were getting, I suppose, £3.75 a pound for lobster back then. And I think we're getting, I suppose, today's price, well, I suppose I'll take the summer price there, maybe a 14-15 euro average price kind of thing for lobster. It has fallen as low as €10 a kilo. But the overheads and the costs have skyrocketed, from boat insurance to harbour dues to basic day-to-day running of boats, fuel, bait. I mean, everything is food, groceries, everything is skyrocketed. But the product you're bringing in is, I think it's actually lower now than it was back in the 80s. Price per kilo, like the prices back there were per pound. So if you convert them into kilos and convert the Irish pound into euros, and I'd say you'd have a scary figure when you get to the end of it.
And what's it like dealing with that then? That everything to actually help you fish is getting more expensive, and then the actual product you're bringing home is dropping in price.
Well, it's only going to go one way. Like, it's going to hit a point where it's either viable or it's not viable.
Yeah.
It depends on basically how long you're involved in the industry, how much money you owe to banks. I mean, there are young lads there that have they have serious boats, they have serious loans, they have serious overheads, they have serious everything else, and I mean the market price is staying the same. The amount of stuff they're landing is decreasing. I don't know. It's and there's, I suppose, this financial aid or whatever else doesn't seem to actually be there. Again, for the inshore sector.
So really, kind of, the entire inshore fishing industry is very close to its last legs, like.
Well, I wouldn't go down that. I wouldn't paint that picture just yet. I mean, if we don't have put some kind of positivity on it, we'd stop tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I mean, the industry is there, but there needs to be, in my opinion, a little bit more urgency.
Yeah. Bit of change, like.
Well, basically, if people would start by listening to the people that are actually involved in the industry, I think that would go a long way. I don't think any inshore man is out there to put an end to his own industry. Yeah. So, I mean, if people sit down and they listen to the people that are involved in it, definitely there is a future there, but people need to do some serious thinking about...
there needs to be work put in and...
Yeah, they need to sit down, they need to come up with a correct management plan, a management plan that's workable by everybody, which is very doable, all right? But basically, you need to listen to the people that are involved in the industry. That'd be my reckoning. I'm not saying I know I've all the answers, I'm not saying I know it all, but I definitely know that people that are involved in the industry for 20, 30, 40 years, some 40 years plus, surely to God, they deserve to be listened to. You know?
Yeah. Is there any aspect of Ireland from when you were younger that you would like to preserve for the younger generation?
I suppose in fishing, I suppose the opportunities that were afforded to people, I suppose the opportunities that fishermen had back in the day. It'd be nice to see some of those opportunities now for the younger generation. And I suppose the sense of community, I suppose I was in the areas with the losses of, I mean, walk up there now and you wouldn't meet a soul. I suppose back in the day
you know everyone at the street.
You'd hardly walk up the street there without meeting people. So I suppose the sense of security or the sense of community, and I suppose the opportunities.
Right, I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining us, Eddie. It was a delight to have you on.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks, lads.
Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that interview there now with Eddie. If you haven't seen our Untold expose, make sure you go check that out. Of course, links to all of the various National Inshore Fishermen's Association social medias will be down below in the description. And make sure, guys, that you help them out in any way that you can, because they're doing God's work over there. And also, make sure you check out our various social medias linked below in the description. We have an Instagram, a TikTok, a Facebook, a Twitter, a Patreon. You know the drill at this stage, guys. All the social medias down below in the description. Make sure you check them out. I'd just like to say again, guys, thank you very much to Eddie for joining us, and we'll see you next week.